Hey, sorry, I was just calling you back. Oh, I'm looking. Okay, wait. I'm at the. Let me see if I can see you. I'm in my car. It's like a gold. It's a gold. Oh, I'm gonna come try to find you because I don't know. Here he is. If you're enjoying our career life, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really, really helps. Thank you so much. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. You were over there.
Yeah. But we made it.
Yes, indeed.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Good morning.
Oh, here's your coffee, by the way, the big one.
Oh, thank you.
Are you nervous? Like, what could happen today?
What could happen today is the judge will not give me a decision, grant me the pardon, or deny it.
And so you grew up in San Francisco, right? And
I did.
You grew up a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, so I was born in Central America, Nicaragua, during the war.
Oh, wow.
And back then, if you were a Jehovah's Witness, you would either, be killed or in prison.
Really?
So yeah, so they were persecuted because the government then thought that if you were a Jehovah's Witness, you were trying to spread American ideology in the country, and they didn't want that because they were mostly communists.
Yeah.
So we had to flee.
How old were you when you fled?
I must have been around 3 or 4.
Do you remember it at all?
Yeah, bits and parts of it. So my mom had to flee first because there was a rule that said if you were a male and 14 years old, you have to go off to boot camp. You go and you go to war.
Oh my gosh.
So my mom didn't want my brothers to go through that, and she fled first. And my dad had to get things in order. She was in the Bay Area, but my dad and 2 of my siblings moved to Miami, and we lived there. I think it was like 1st or 2nd grade there. Throughout this whole process, my parents divorced, and my dad fell into a very deep depression. And I would say moving to the Bay Area was when everything just got crazy.
For you personally?
I think for all of us, because all of a sudden my dad wasn't there.
Right.
My mom was already with someone else.
Did you like the new guy that she was with?
He was a pedophile.
Really?
Yeah.
And did you tell her that?
Oh, she knew. So my older sister, who's always kind of been my best friend and the one who always protected me, she kept on running away from home, and we didn't understand why. And I remember 2 cops dropped her off one night, and because she had run away, it had been 2 weeks that she hadn't been home, and the cops told my mom. And I remember this perfectly because we were all in the living room. The cops said, your daughter's not allowed to live here as long as your husband is here, because she's alleging that he's sexually assaulting her.
Wow. Did she believe your sister?
When the cops told her this, she just pretended she didn't hear it. And my sister got sent to foster care.
So she stayed with the man.
She stayed sleeping next to that animal for all those years, and then that's when I started to kind of rebel. And
how old were you at that point?
I could have been around, I think I was around 10, 11.
Wow. And your sister, and you were so close to her, and she just didn't live with you anymore because, wow.
Yeah, she was sent to foster home until she was 18. I know that the what they call elders in the Jehovah's Witness congregation, they were aware of it. Never once did they approach the other kids in the home and
really
and ask us are you guys okay? Did anything happen to you? Never once. Instead, they announced to the congregation that back then, if you were a teenager having problems, they would announce it in public, basically telling the congregation to stay away from this person. Because they're acting worldly. So they basically kind of blamed it on my sister.
Shamed her almost.
Yeah.
That is so messed up.
Yeah, and I had so much resentment. I was so fucking angry.
Of course you did.
At everything. I was angry at my dad. I was angry at my mom.
Right.
I was angry at my
the church.
Yeah. And and then looking back, I remember before my sister was removed, I remember my stepfather would come into the room in the mornings. My mom was working graveyard as a nurse. I remember he would approach my sister's bed, and I was just a little kid. I remember I'd have the covers on me, and I was like sweating and crying.
Oh my god.
Because I was scared that I knew that something was happening to her.
Right.
And I knew it was bad. And I was scared that it would happen to me. But I was so pissed that I didn't have the balls to like get up and do something.
Well, you were so young, you know?
Yeah, and I could hear my sister crying.
Oh my gosh. So you were about 11 years old, and is that when you started getting involved with gangs and stuff?
So once my sister was removed, I was about 12 years old, and you know, I got jumped into the gang.
How did that happen? How did you get involved?
Here you are, you know, a minority kid. Immigrant parents, you know, they're usually absent from home. They're, you know, either, you know, working, doing double shifts, you know, trying to
make it work.
Yeah, and you know, so we had very little supervision. I remember like being bullied because I didn't speak English like the rest of the kids. You know, my mom wasn't the type of mom that would like, you know, give you lunch money or give you a lunch bag. You know, she'd be like, if you guys are fucking hungry, go to the fridge and bring food to school. Right. It's like, I'm in second grade.
Yeah, totally.
And she'd be like, by the way, that clothes is like piling up. You need to start doing laundry. So, you know, we had to, you know,
grow up really fast.
Absolutely. And I was so resentful at these kids that like, I would look at their parents and they would like hug them and say, have a good day, son, or, you know, pack their little lunch with fucking string cheese in it, and you know, a little nice Dorito bag, and it's like, and I felt so cheated. Like, why can't I like just have something normal like that? Yeah. And but then I realized that there were kids just like myself. By this time, we were like, you know, hanging out with you know, older guys like in their 20s, 30s, 40s. You know, running drugs, violence.
And how old were you at this point?
I was around 12, 13.
Wow.
You know, as distorted as it was, I felt loved. I felt safe to like be on the street versus being at home. I couldn't stand like living under the same roof as my mom and that man.
It makes sense, honestly. Like, and you found almost like your own little community, like, you know, your own another family that you could be with, and they cared about you. Absolutely.
It was consistent. They were always there. A lot of their families had come from generations of that gang lifestyle. So, you know, we were always allowed to like sleep over. You know, they would feed us, and then, you know, eventually Juvenile Hall became
a constant in your life, or
it became my second home, definitely. Like, I remember sitting in the 4th grade. It hit me. I was like, I don't understand. I was thinking to myself, why do my friends like Stephanie, but I think I like Joey?
Amazing. In 4th grade? Yeah. That's like that's when you first realized like, oh, maybe something's different.
Oh, absolutely.
And so did you just not tell anyone about that, or what?
God, no. I mean, I had no idea there were other kids that going through the same thing, but what I did know was that it was condemned. It was Jehovah Witnesses. It was condemned within the culture. It was absolutely frowned upon, like amongst my peers. Yeah. And looking back, it's like, okay, no wonder I was, you know, running away from myself, and here I was trying to prove my manhood through violence, through trying to gain respect and recognition and street cred, all because I was just I didn't know what to do with myself. I thought there was just something. I just knew that there was something horribly wrong, and that I was just gonna die with that secret, and no one was ever gonna know. Or I remember, you know, going to sleep crying and just like cussing God out. It's like, why the fuck would you make me like this, and then hate me for it? And I had like no one to talk to. So again, here I am running away from who I was. and doing all things just so maybe that part of me would just eventually go away. But when I would go to school, I would like, you know, talk to like my normal friends, and they'll be like, yeah, you know, like I really want to apply to go to Berkeley and Stanford, and in my mind I'm like, fuck that, I'm going to prison.
Wow.
I was like, that's where like, you know, like real gangsters go. So at 18 years old, I'm, you know, waking up in San Quentin.
So you weren't scared of that? You just kind of accepted that was going to be part of your reality?
Yeah, I knew I had to go. I knew that it was part of my training.
To be a man?
Yeah.
What was San Quentin like? Scary?
Exciting. I would probably say overwhelmed, because, you know, you're walking to this huge building and it's so loud because the guys there are screaming all day long. There were just tears and bars, and there were all these pigeons flying in and out, you know, cigarette smoke everywhere. And then all of a sudden I hear my name, and I feel all of a sudden I get excited because some of my friends were already there and they knew that I was on my way there.
So it's almost like an accomplishment in that frame of mind. Like, I made it.
Yeah, it's like I graduated.
Wow.
You know, I got out of Disneyland, which is county jail.
Yeah.
And then I finally made it to the big house.
Yeah. I never thought about it like that, but it makes sense hearing your story. How long were you there for?
I was supposed to do only like a year or something, but then so much shit went down inside that I ended up doing 5 years.
Wow. Like fights and stuff?
Yeah, like riots. Because, you know, you're still gangbanging when you're there.
Yeah. And you weren't out of the closet at that point, right?
Oh, absolutely not. But then things changed.
Yeah, I want to hear about that.
In 2005, I remember my sisters and my mom, they came to visit me. I think I was in Folsom, and they were crying, and I was like, what the hell's wrong with you guys? Like, because they were so used to me, you know? Like,
yeah.
Me being so institutionalized.
Yeah.
So it seemed odd
that all of a sudden they were so sad about it.
And they were like, we just buried your dad.
Oh my gosh.
That's when life like really hit me, because I was very close to him.
So
I have like nothing but fond memories of my father. Like, he was, yes, he would drink, but I never ever heard him scream.
Wow.
Yell at my mom, like nothing like that. He was such a good provider, and he loved like clothes and the nice things, you know?
Yeah.
And I looked up to him a lot.
Do you feel like that kind of changed the trajectory for you?
Absolutely. I made that vow to myself. I was just like, I'm never gonna come back. I don't have to live life this way.
Good for you.
Out of respect for my dad's memory, wow. I wanted to change it.
He's probably so proud of you.
I hope so.
I can guarantee it. I mean, that's because it just sounded like you were going down a really bad path, and look at you now, you know? It's inspiring.
Thank you. Here I am, fresh out of prison, tattoos on my head, and convicted felon, but with this huge desire to want to change my life. And I told my mom, I was like, I really needed your help. I want to go to college. And like with everything else, she would always just say, well, figure it out.
So when did you come out, and how was that?
2011, like around October the 10th or something like that. I went to my mom's house and I said, you know, this is my plan. I'm moving to LA, and I just wanted to say goodbye, but I also wanted to leave that baggage behind, and I came out to her.
And what did she say?
My mom said, she said, I hope you die. She said, I'm so disgusted that I'm your mother. Imagine what God must think of you. You're better off dead.
Oh my God.
Don't come running. Don't come looking for me when you die of AIDS. Like, really, like, it was so hurtful.
Like the worst things you could say to somebody.
Like my fear came true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like the whole reason why you've probably been in the closet for so long is because you didn't want to hear those words from your mom.
Yeah, yeah. And in my mind, I had this delusional thinking, like she has ever been like understanding and loving and nurturing, you know. So, but I wanted that.
Of course.
So I trusted her with this big secret of mine, and and she rejected me. And I drove to, I was on the 5 South moving to LA, and I cried most of the way. I was like, either I make it in LA or I make it, because I have nothing else to go back to. I was homeless a lot when I was working towards my associate degree. Just turned left.
Okay, cool. Thank you for helping me get there. Okay, so you started trying to work for your associate's degree so you could get some sort of degree and be able to get a job from that.
Yeah.
Did you know what you wanted to do, or you just kind of were like, I just want to get a degree so I can do something?
I wanted something like really geeky and nerdy, and in my mind I thought I was gonna work for like in accounting.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. What was your first job? Do you remember?
I was a file clerk for an immigration law firm in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
And I was friends with one of the partners there, and he's like, you might hate it here, but you know,
it's a start.
Yeah. He's like, see if you learn something. Maybe, you know, you'll want to go to law school someday or whatnot. So, but I went to paralegal school at San Francisco State. I did that, and then I jumped into like different areas of law. Things got so bad with my addiction and my alcoholism that I ended up in AA. So it was then that I began to feel hope, and it was finally then that I was able to define God, you know, for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like making how life kind of like, you know, brings you back. I started getting involved in volunteering, working with the formerly incarcerated here in LA for this nonprofit called ARC, the Anti-Recidivism Coalition. The founder is one of the creative directors for the movie Hangover. He's like, I want you to run a class once a week about, you know, sobriety and recovery for these guys and girls that are coming out, you know. They need support too. Thank God for AA. You know, it taught me the value of standing in your truth, no apologies. You can just drop me off anywhere here.
Oh, is this where you're going, right here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me find a spot. I can pull it right here.
So here I am at court. You know, there's a lot of things that I already forgave myself for. And my next chapter in life is to become a foster parent. And I already finished the requirements for Tennessee. So I'm hoping the judicial system in California will be able to forgive me as well.
I hope so too.
And I can move forward.
Definitely, you deserve it.
Thank you, we all do.
Yeah, I agree. You'll have to let me know how it goes today.
I will.
And I'll put it at the end of the video. I think everyone watching will probably be rooting for you too.
I hope so.
It was so nice to meet you. Honestly, I feel so inspired by your story, and
thank you so much.
Just what you've gone through and where you are today. It just shows that anything is possible, you know. And it just takes hard work and belief in yourself.
Yeah, I know what it's like to stand in line at a food, getting food stamps unemployed. But I also know what it's like to fly first class, going to London.
Hell yeah.
You know, and it's all because of work and, you know, just loving myself more and more each day.
It's a perfect place to end. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let me unlock this for you. Okay. Next week on Our Queer Life, I meet with Micah, a 22-year-old gay ex-Orthodox Jew.
Your life is rigidly governed as an Orthodox Jew. Every person that I've talked to who's Orthodox and Jewish and gay has contemplated suicide.
It all comes back to money.
Don't come out or kill yourself, or come out and potentially lose everyone you love.
Do you think that you could pray away your gay?